Hi, my name's Kim Thompson. I'm the manager and owner of Raw Coffee Company. We started in June 2007, so it's been 7 years. I would describe Raw Coffee Company as a boutique coffee roasting company that's supplying smaller cafes, restaurants, a couple of hotels with fresh, organic, fair trade coffee, and started the business because we recognised there was a gap in the market here for good quality fresh coffee. I think you will hear every coffee company say that their coffee is better. Everyone markets and says that they have the best, but I believe what we're doing is on the right track. I think there are a few things that make really good specialty coffee even better, and that would be that it has to be fresh. You have to drink it between 7 and 21 days after it's been roasted. I think for us, we really believe in fair trade, so that we know where our coffee's coming from, that direct trade relationship with the farmers and the cooperatives that we buy the coffee from. But there's so many variables. The water has to be purified and not have a lot of salt. The equipment needs to be cleaned and maintained. It has to be made properly. So we're trying really hard, but I think we can continue getting better. But you can't make good coffee with cheap beans. You have to buy really good specialty grade coffee as well. I moved to Dubai in '98, so it's about 16 years. I wanted to start this business because I ran a small cafe here for a couple of years and I realised I couldn't buy freshly roasted coffee like I was used to in New Zealand. But really it was naivety, because I didn't realise how much there was involved in roasting the coffee. Started it here because this is where I lived, and I'm a mother with 3 daughters, and they were growing up and I didn't need to spend so much time with them. So I had the time and the energy, and I think there's a lot of opportunities here in Dubai. There was a gap in the market, so decided to try and do it here. In the initial stages, I did a business plan, but if I got it out now and read it, I would laugh because it's changed so much. It's evolved and it's veered off in another direction. We understood the importance of sourcing really good supplier that we could trust, that was going to give us the organic certified and the fair trade certified coffee, because we knew for it to work here, we had to position ourselves in a niche that we weren't going to be competing with the existing bigger companies. So suppliers, we had to source really good staff to work with us. It's been a huge learning curve. My market research really consisted of the fact that I felt there would be other Kiwis and Australians at the time that were doing the same thing we were doing by bringing up coffee from their own country, and it really was how we survived for the first couple of years. Other expats that were from countries, Canada, France, New Zealand, Australia, America, that were used to smaller roasters, supplying them with local fresh produce. And so we never really even imagined that we'd be supplying commercial outlets. It's something that obviously we should have known about, but we didn't. We were thinking very small at the beginning when we started. No, the skills that I needed to run this company I definitely did not have. I thought I knew what a good coffee tasted like and that it was simple, you just roasted it and then you made it. But I didn't definitely have the skills, and it's been something that's evolved over a long period of time. And what's interesting is that every week we're still learning new stuff. There's always something to learn. I think personally for me, the skills that allowed us to have this company and for it to grow and be successful was being brave and being prepared to learn from your mistakes, to try and grow organically, so not to try and take on the world or compete with the bigger existing companies. We didn't even have any money for marketing or branding. So we didn't want investors because we wanted to control the growth. But there were times when it was very, very, very hard and we didn't know how we were going to pay salaries and that type of thing. But it was like being on a roller coaster. You were on it, you had to stay on it, and you had to believe in yourself and decide where you wanted to fit in the market. And I think that probably would be my biggest thing now if I was trying to encourage other women or people who are going to start a business, would be maybe do a little bit more investigating before you started than we did, but once you start, you have to believe in yourself and you have to keep going and keep learning all the time. Some of the challenges that we faced initially were really extreme challenges where it felt like it just wasn't meant to happen, because there were things like buying the equipment we needed to roast the coffee, and for it to be held up in a completely unforeseen industrial dispute over in Germany and having to go up and get a lawyer and stay there until it was resolved. Renting the wrong place initially at Dubai Investment Park that we had to then reassess. We had problems with the consultant who came up to work for us. There were a lot of really big issues at the beginning that if I look back, I wonder how we even got through those to get to the stage now. But probably most small businesses would face those type of hurdles. It's just that you don't have a consultant or a specialist to help you through those things at the time when they happen, because you don't have the money. I believe I've got better at coping with problems now than how my ability to cope with them 6 years ago, definitely, because they happen more often. But it helps to have someone that supports you as well. So I have a business partner and he's a lot stronger than I am at dealing with conflict. I take everything personally, which you can't continue doing that, otherwise you just get nowhere. I'm not strong enough to cope when people don't pay us. You know, there's a lot of things that it helps to have someone with you that has other skills or their own skills. And then maybe I think probably initially, before I had that, it would have been friends who own their own businesses that I could bounce ideas off, get advice from. I don't know if I'd call myself an entrepreneur, like I own a business and started it, but I think an entrepreneur, the part of that would be that I'm brave. I can take a risk. Upskilling is something that we do all the time. We're always going and attending courses with other roasters around the world, because we feel that here the specialty coffee industry is just starting. So we're about 5 or 6 years behind the leading countries in the world. So I think roasting courses, barista training courses, so that we can then come back and help our guys to be as good as anywhere else in the world, which is what we're trying to do. We also travel to origin countries. Matt's hoping to go to Peru in April. We're hoping to go up to Yemen again in March. We've been up to Ethiopia a couple of times. So it's keeping up with what the rest of the world's doing more than what's going on here that we're trying to do. And then we're learning all the time with regard to administration skills and accounting and budgeting, that type of thing. My long-term vision for Raw is that we consolidate what we're doing now, so we just get better at our roasting. We can support our customers so that they can make their coffee better and sell more coffee. We'd love to see the actual profession, the barista profession, be recognised as something that is crucial for coffee to improve anywhere. Like, you can't pay someone 2,000 dirhams and expect them to work 12-hour days, 6 days a week and care. And most people here are coffee makers, they don't even drink coffee. That would be a huge thing for the industry. But then for raw, we would like to have better control over the end product and operate and get more people drinking our coffee. My one piece of advice for people that want to start up a business here in the UAE would be to do it. There's so many opportunities, there's so many people hoping to help. I think, and my friends would laugh at this now, but I would say it's crucial to listen when someone tells you that you have to have 3 years worth of cash flow to survive until it takes off. I laughed and I said, well, it's a no-brainer. Our coffee's going to be better, that's not going to be relevant for us, but the reality is that you do need that cash flow because it may take a lot longer than you think it will before you start making your money. So it would be to have cash flow.